Greetings, siblings. Thank you for coming back to listen. Today is an interesting day. I feel the hand of God working on me very, very strongly. It's more present than it normally is. He's always working in our lives. Don't get me wrong on that. But today I can feel it's like he's gearing up for something. I don't know what. But, and on a slightly darker note, today's subject is materialism. And if I were to entitle today, it would be Live for the Lord. The retirement benefits are amazing. And let's think about it. Who's looking forward to retiring? As I said, today's subject is materialism. I was speaking to my mom several weeks ago, and she was not happy about where she lives. She lives in a well-constructed 2-bedroom apartment with a dishwasher and washer-dryer. Her lament was that she didn't live in a house, like with a garage and picket fences. Her boss does, though. And that was what she was going on about. Now, I know that she wants these things, and they're okay to have, but I also know that her boss isn't happy with his life or what he has. So I couldn't take her side and say that those are good things, but I also couldn't say that these things aren't necessary. Needless to say, I was conflicted. But keep that story on the back burner. I will come back to it. I have not had a long life, or a fiscally plentiful one either. I have, however, met those who have had longer lives, and fiscally plentiful ones as well. When I encounter these people, or hear about them, I feel uncomfortable, because I cannot compare to the opulence that I see, or hear about. Please note, I bear these people no ill will, and I'm very glad that the Lord has blessed them the way He has, and I hope that they're happy with it as well. But I was feeling down about not having what some of my other brothers and sisters have. My mentor, whom I believe was relaying a God message at that point in time, told me, true Christians are better off than those who are rich, as far as materialism is concerned. Now, I grasped that idea, but it was made all the clearer when she said, Live for the Lord, the retirement benefits are amazing. Now, subconsciously, I knew what those benefits were, but I asked her to explain, and she recounted the story in Luke 16 about Lazarus and the rich man, which goes a little something like this. There once was a rich man who clothed himself in purple and fine linen, who feasted luxuriously every day. And at his gate a certain poor man named Lazarus, covered with sores. Lazarus longed to eat the crumbs that fell from the rich man's table. Instead, dogs would come and lick his wounds. One day the poor man died, and was carried by angels to Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died, and was buried. While being tormented in the place of the dead, he looked up and saw Abraham at a distance, with Lazarus at his side. He shouted, Father Abraham, have mercy on me! Send Lazarus to dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I suffer in this flame. Abraham said, Child, remember that during your lifetime you received good things, whereas Lazarus received terrible things. Now Lazarus is being comforted, and you are in great pain. Moreover, there is a crevasse between us that is fixed. Those who wish to cross from here to there cannot, and those who wish to cross from there to here cannot. The rich man said, Then I beg you, Father, send Lazarus to my house. I have 5 brothers, and he needs to warn them, so they do not fall into this place of agony. Abraham replied, They have Moses and the prophets. They must listen to them. The rich man said, No, Father. If someone from the dead goes to them, it will change their hearts and lives. Abraham retorted, If they don't listen to Moses and the prophets, then neither will they be persuaded if someone raises from the dead. Kind of a fun story, isn't it? And he makes a good point, which is also kind of hilarious because in one translation the rich man says, raise Lazarus from the dead. And at the tail end it says, and Abraham would reply, even if I raise Lazarus from the dead, it's still not going to work. And they still won't believe you. They still won't believe. And later, when Jesus actually does raise Lazarus, no one believes him anyway. So, I took the story, and I understood the basic meaning behind it, but I also gleaned something else as well. And it ties in with these scriptures from the Proverbs and the Gospels. Proverbs 8 verse 11 says, wisdom is more precious than rubies, and nothing you can desire will compare with her. Matthew 6 verses 19 through 21 says, don't collect treasures for your own benefit here on earth, where moth and rust can eat them and thieves break in and steal. Instead, collect treasures for yourself in heaven, where moth and rust don't consume, and thieves do not break in and steal. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And finally is the key. This is where everything all connects and where things make sense. And it's in the Proverbs of all places. You know, who'd have thought wisdom would be in the Proverbs? Proverbs 2 verse 6 says, the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. Did you catch it? Just in case you didn't, here it is. Matthew 6 is giving you a piece of wisdom. Not to yearn for earthly things, but heavenly things. And this piece of wisdom is, you know, it does what all wisdom does. It's designed to change us, change our mental state for the better. And it's also telling us to long for things that are permanent. And you guys probably already guessed this, because, you know, when things are permanent, they don't decay. Now, material things are the gifts of this world, whereas Proverbs says wisdom is the gift of the Lord, essentially. That's a paraphrase. But wisdom is the gift of the Lord. Now, because material things are gifts of the world, they must come from the ruler of this world, and he is Satan. That's right. He will not last either. Thus, his creations won't. For no servant is greater than his master. This is one of the really crafty things that Satan does. Material things satiate the flesh, quieting the voice of our soul that tells us we're missing something, which is Jesus, right again. And Satan, you know what? Satan really pisses me off. He makes my blood boil. As I was writing this, I could feel it's just this raw anger come back. Back to my story. Mom was not happy, but she got over it because she recalled the blessings she already had, and she came to the conclusion that she is just fine where she is. And now she has 2 reasons. I know I do. The long and short of it is this: like it says in the Proverbs, like it says in Matthew, where your heart is, where your treasure is, your heart will be also. If your treasure is in heaven with God, or your treasure is God and the things that come out of his mouth. Because what comes out of the mouth, is from the heart. And if we want the things that come out of God's heart, and it's our treasure, that's where we're going to end up. But if we want the things that Satan gives us, which are material things, that's where our heart is. I hope these words have edified you and changed the way you look at material things. Because this is one of those really crucial things that Satan doesn't want us to get. And I know this video has been kind of long, but take it and share it. Tell other people that this is one of the tricks that Satan uses that, you know, not many people ever think about. This is worth thinking about. This is worth contemplating. And so until next time, next week, approximately the same time, keep living, keep laughing, keep loving, and as always, keep looking up.